Greetings everyone, TJB Chris here with part 4 in my Tandy series I'm calling Bigly Tandy. In this series we're exploring applications for the Tandy Model 2 line, that being the 212, 16, 16B, and 6000. Tonight we're going to walk through DeskMate, and tonight's is going to be a little different because unlike the previous applications that I worked with, DeskMate has the manual available for it. In fact, if you see me looking to my left, that's why I've got it on my laptop here. We're also going to do this a little differently. I'll apologize up front for the static shock, but the benefit of that is I'll put the pages up from the manual that I'm working through as I work through them. I'm not going to highlight each step, BS to gratification ratio for production and all that, but I will put the pages up as I work through it so you can see what I'm doing. This is going to be longer than the other videos. I'm pretty sure there's 4 or 5 applications in the sample session that's in the owner's manual. So, you know, skip past the parts you don't want to see, and for the parts that are repetitive, like me typing a letter, I'm just going to, you know, start and skip to the end. So you don't have to watch all of that. But generally, if I'm interacting with something the tutorial is telling me to do, you're going to see it here. As I mentioned, this is in celebration of Tandy. Tandy, where creators all over the internet get together virtually and celebrate all things Tandy Radio Shack. So, without further ado, let's get cracking. Okay, back to the dimmer screen here. Should be a little brighter than last time, but this will allow reverse video to show up, or should. DeskMate makes heavy use of reverse video, so we're going to want to do that. I've played with this application some, but never to the degree that the sample session appears to have me. So let's get to it. Okay, a little about DeskMate. DeskMate has a 1985 and 86 copyright, and the manual has an 86 copyright, so I believe it was released in 1986, and it was marketed as being for the Tandy 6000 only. And that's because DeskMate requires Xenix 3, and at the time, the only machines in the field that would really run Xenix 3, most customers had anyway, were the shortboard revised 68000 boards with 8 MHz processor setting, and had the upgraded PALs to allow burst mode and some other Xenix functionality. Because of those hardware requirements and Xenix 3 requirements for DeskMate, it says in the startup messages that it's for the Xenix for the 6000. So let's bring up the sample session documentation here on the right. And tonight we're going to be playing the part of Edwin Raymond and his catering firm, Bon Appetit. And we're going to be using DeskMate on Edwin's behalf. And so, of course, they mention it has to be installed. Already done. Our system administrator has lovingly installed DeskMate. And of course it mentions the fact that the sample session is divided into mini sessions covering each of the different applications in DeskMate. It then goes into a couple paragraph description about the cursor and what the cursor is and how to use the cursor and how it's both this blinky thing and also the bigger non-blinky marker that you use to highlight files and cells and worksheet and things like that. On the next page we notice that they talk a whole couple of paragraphs about executing commands and describing multi-key key sequences and how they work. If you're hitting an escape sequence, you tap escape and then the letter, and if you're doing control, you hold control while tapping the letter. Lovely. I guess this documentation definitely written for folks that may not be most computer native. And then it goes to some differences about terminals that you might run into that are not the standard console, and some of the keys they have and the standard DeskMate sequences. For example, escape and then the right arrow to tab right, and versus a page right key, and then escape up, escape down, page up, page down, blah blah blah. Next page. I feel like I need one of those film strip projectors. Boom! It also notes that if I have a key that's like escape 1, escape 2, I can use the F1 and F2 keys, and on other machines with more F keys I can use those as well, but this machine only has F1 and F2. It also notes a few other keys that we can use, for example, break, Control C, Control W, which would be insert on a terminal, Control X for delete, and Control T for home. Alright, to get started with this already, the first thing it wants me to do is log in with my login name and type my password. I'm logged in. And now it wants me to type DM sample so I can create the DeskMate sample files. And now I have mail, and then it tells me to type desk to start DeskMate. And see Xenix 6000 DeskMate, so that's definitely a artifact of how it was marketed. This machine actually has the Tandy 6000 upgrade, so it does have the PAL upgrade and is actually running a legit PAL enhanced copy of Xenix 3.3. Okay, and for the sake of playing along with the tutorial, we can see here that I have set the date for November 20th, 1985, which means there are some events for today, which the DM sample program lovingly installed. We're working in my current directory, which is user Chris, and the first thing the tutorial wants us to do after starting DeskMate is to press escape and then 2 to change the current directory. Enter to expand or new directory. Boom! And it wants us to type the name of the directory that DM sample created, and that's going to be Edwin. Screen should refresh. Excellent. Okay, so we have our events. We have a bunch of files that are Edwin's apparently, and we're just going to, forge ahead by forging his name. It says note the highlighted area below the list of today's events. Identifies my home directory. Boom. And then it has the 5 columns that list the various applications. And then I can go down and up, blah, blah, blah. Alright, so now the first thing it has me do is use one of the accessories, which is messages. And so I'm going to press the escape key, and then I'm going to press equals for the DeskMate accessories. I get this little windowy looking thing. Boom. Just like in the owner's manual, and I'm not going to boom every page, but just feel like I need one of those film strip projectors and the music and the story going like we had in school. Anyway, so we go down to messages. I can press M for messages. Very cool. I don't even have to go down and hit enter. Copying mail to your mailbox. Now we have this little pretend window thing coming up. And now we see we have the messages. And of course I have another message here. And we have one from Dan and one from Jody. So with a marker highlighting the message from Dan, press the enter key. Change of plans, Johnson wedding. Don't worry, the wedding is still on. Mrs. Johnson now favors the champagne punch instead of the fountain. Alright, well that's going to go over like a turd in a punch bowl. But okay, fine. She wants something different. It also notes we might have an additional message in there, which is being welcome to Xenix. Thanks. Okay, press enter to continue. Okay, we're back to our list of messages. After you've read the message, press enter, which I did. Press the down arrow to go to Jody's message. And press enter to read it. Reassignment. Elizabeth did a great job. Let's give her another challenging project. I know you've been up to yours, so why don't you pass on one of yours, Jody? Well, Jody, maybe it's my pet project. Okay, Edwin decides to reply to the messages later in the day. In reading them, however, he's reminded that he needs to cancel a rental agreement. He decides to send himself a note so he won't forget. So I press escape. And then O to create a message. At the 2 prompt, type your own username, Chris. And for the subject, it wants us to type Johnson. Okay. And then we'll just type this. Alright, my mail sent. I had a semicolon in there. I didn't feel like going back to correct, but who cares? Alright, and then the list of messages will return when the message is sent, and now we hit escape and then Q. This throws us back to the main menu. And we're still in user Chris Edwin. I just touched my screen and I hate that. So now let's start with the first major application in the tutorial, text. So I'm going to highlight text, which is already highlighted, and I'm going to hit enter. And we're going to, when it asks me for the name, L-E-T-T-E-R, and it tells me that DeskMate will assume ... Opens a new thing, blank page, press escape to see the functions available to you. And we have a whole bunch of things we can do, substitute, find, buffer, merge, select, blah, blah, blah. Press escape. And now we need to enter the text, so we're going to press enter where indicated. Alright, I'm just going to type this and we'll get back. Alright, so we're typed in here, and I think I got most of the typing correct. And we're going to add an event at December 1st. So we're going to move the cursor over 12.385 as it indicates. And we're going to hit enter for down, okay. And we're in currently add mode, the default typing mode. So I'm just going to type 12.185. And then I'm going to say bridal shower for 15 at 1. Alright. And it notes how add mode works. Okay, next, change the information event schedule on December 25th. Now that we've added our event, it wants us to change the event on December 25th to the 26th, and then it wants us to make it for 12 people. So escape, and 3, we want to go to substitute mode, go 26th, and we'll just go over here, and we'll make this dinner for 12. Great. Okay, one more correction. We need to move, change the word and in the last sentence to 2. Okay, and take 2 and press escape 9. Cool. Alright. Now we're going to hit escape 3 to go back to the wrong thing. That should put us back into insert mode. Cool. And that's that. Alright, now we need to duplicate text from one file to another. So let's escape Q to quit as it says. And we're going to move the marker down to address.doc. Alright, we're going to hit escape and 1 for the find function, and we're going to search for Will. Okay, there it goes, Mrs. Elliott Williams. Move the cursor to the beginning of Mrs. And we're going to press escape, then 7. Okay, I'm going to move down over that. We're going to escape 8. We're going to say this is Williams. Okay, and now we're going to go back to the main menu. This is a very interesting copy-paste. And I literally have to highlight it, save it to a file, and then go back in. Now we're going to go back to the letter. Okay, it wants us to press escape, and we're going to use the merge function, which is 6. And the file name is going to be Williams. And there it is. Okay, and then we need to insert a line here. Okay, now we need to give Edwin's return address. So we're going to go to Control-T to go to the beginning of the file. Okay, and we're going to go lhead.doc. So we're going to go escape and 6. Okay. Date and Mrs. Elliott Williams. And just move that down. Okay, so now we need to go back and we're going to replace mode and put 1985. So escape 3. Now we're going to type November 20th, 1985. And it tells us with the addition of the 2 extra blocks, we may have to use escape down and escape up, which I'll do. Yep. And back to the top we go. Alright, so the next page tells us all about the various settings. Printed to screen, file, whatever I like. Let's see what happens if I use screen. Oh, yep, there it goes. Space, next screen. Q quit. Okay. There we are. Next step, we're going to do some text substitution. So I'm going to escape the document, return to the main menu. We're going to open address.doc. Okay, address is open. Okay, there's an escape question. We'll show you the help screen. See what that looks like. And once this does finally draw, we press enter to see the next screen. On the last one, it'll just exit back to the document apparently. Yep, here we are back to the document. So the only other function we haven't used yet is substitute. We want to change almost every occurrence of Fort Worth to Dallas. So we're going to press escape 2 for substitute. And we're going to search for Dallas. Okay. And then it's going to tell me the cursor moves to the first occurrence, replace, press Y. and the cursor moves to the next occurrence, Ellen's. Press no. And then move to the last address, and it says to press Y. Okay, that's it. To change the addresses back, we could do the same thing again. First, you gotta hit Control T though. And just take that out. Okay, and if I do the same thing again, escape to. Okay, and then the first one, press Y. The second, press no. And at the third, yes. And that's it. Now the neat thing about this, of course, is DeskMate has accessories like the message one, and this time we're going to use the calculator. So let's try this out. Okay, 5 plus 1. Wow, that's the fastest calculator ever. We can do 4 minus 6. Multiply that times 10.3. Oh, that got 103. Let's try and divide that by 103. So I get back to minus 2. Okay, let's try this again. Let's try this. Times 10.3. Okay. It's a little pokey in the buttons. And then divide 8 by 6 by 0.4, type this, 8.6 divided by 0.4. Five is shown. If you make a mistake, you can type CE, or you can type CA to clear everything. And then, suppose you want to take 30% of the current value and leave out the decimal point. Press X for multiplication, 30. Type C to raise to 30. Type 0.30. 6.45. Typing S changes the sign. So, to divide by 6.4 by negative 4, by 4S equals minus 1.625. There we go. And that's the end of the calculator accessory. And then that is the end of text. So that is the very comprehensive word processor that allows search and replace and a bunch of other things. Let's move on to Worksheet. Okay, so the first thing Worksheet does is it has us actually expand the current working directory to take a list of the files in here. So let's do that. I'm going to hit Enter to expand. And we can see a bunch of files and everything inside and out. Edmund's home directory and otherwise. Look at that. We have a worksheet. Top line identifies this file and date and blah blah blah, just like always. And we have a line at the bottom of the screen that tells us where we are. R2C1, R1C1, blah blah blah. Okay. Alright, so it's going to have us recreate this budget ourselves. So we're going to go back to the main menu. Escape Q again. Now we're going to go to Worksheet and we're going to type example for the file name. Okay, so we're going to do caps and we're going to do this. We're going to type in 1.1, we're going to type. Alright, with these all typed in, let's go to 1.1 and press Escape 7 to use the select function. Select cells. Alright, next page. We're going to go R to write justify. Okay. Now we got to enter our expenses. So here we go. This last one wants fun. That's our reference to the Grand Budapest Hotel, for those watching. Whatever we haven't spent on holes and whiskey. Okay, it wants us to move it to 15.1. Okay, now we have to put a formula in this cell, so it tells us to hit escape 3 and sum R4. Okay. And now it says escape, what was that, 1 to calculate the things. Okay, exclamation point. Okay, 1245 is the answer. And now it wants us to go actually do this again for the next column. Okay, looks like it's time to put the formula in. Okay, and then it wants us to escape and calculate. Okay, and we got 1258.94. Hopefully I typed all those numbers right. We need another formula to enter the net amounts in column 4. Escape 7 for select. Okay, we're going to do this all at once. This is going to be cool. All the way down to 15. Press escape 3. C2 minus C3. And then calculate it. Okay, so we can see we're a little negative this month, but you know, that's kind of how it works. Alright, it wants us to enter a title, so we're going to go Control T to go back to the top. And then we're going to insert 2 blank lines. So to get over to the parent, I have to get over to the left to insert the blank. So escape dash puts me over there. And I hit escape 0, escape 0. Okay, that does that. Okay, and now we enter, go to 1, 2, and we type budget 4. And then we go Jan, 1985. And there we go. Things are not looking good for this year. I mean, the big net minus, some things came in good, but the whores and whiskey really just got us this month. And of course we can print the worksheet just like we did before. And I'm just going to print this right out to the screen. There it is, spacebar next screen, and there isn't one, so that's it. And of course, this is, as you can see, what it looks like. But it looks like there's one more exercise we have here, and that's going to be setting up an amortization table. So let's take a look at that. It tells us about periodic interest calculation and everything on the first page, so we're going to escape quit to the main menu, and we're going to open a new file, and we're going to call it table, or table. Alright, here we go. 1-1's going to be loan amount. Alright, so we've got all this entered now. I have the spreadsheet all set up. Before we enter the formulas, we've got to format the spreadsheet so 6 and 7 don't run together. So we're going to change the width of all columns from 10 to 11 spaces. And so we're going to go to the top, and then it wants us to go to the top again so that we can get into the line containing the column numbers. And we hit escape 4 and type all, comma, 11, right? Perfect. Look at that. Alright, now we've got to do the amortization formula. Okay, we're going to highlight these. Rows 9 through 19, our highlighted block. Escape 3, R8 plus 1. Just make sure it says it in caps. Okay, and it probably wants us to do that. Run the calculation. Perfect. Alright, so now the next thing we're going to do is we're going to fix the formatting. So we're going to go here, and we're going to hit escape 7, select all the cells, and we're going to hit escape 4, L, I. Perfect. Left justified, integers. Okay, great. Next page, we're going to move the entry marker to cell A2. And this is the first balance for period 1, so this is going to be R1C2. Okay, so that's the question it's going to ask. We're going to go to 9-2. And we're going to highlight all the way down to 19. And then we're going to do escape 3. R8C2 minus R8C5. Okay, so we have the formula there. What else is next? All the values of column 3 show the fixed payment that we're going to pay every month. Control T. This example gives you 18% 1 year, $1,000. Okay, so let's do escape, shift, blah. It wants to know the loan amount. Let's type 1,000. Oh, 0.015. Okay, so that represents an 18% rate over year. And the period is 12. Hey, that looks correct. I like it. So in the end, I'll have paid $100.16 in interest to pay off $1,000 in principal. So that's not good. I would not like that. Okay, so a couple of things we want to do. First thing, interest rates have to go up to 4 places, right? So we want to do that. Second, we want the periods to appear as a whole number without the decimals. And last, we want to justify the column headings to make everything look right. Well then. Alright, so we're going to go to 2-2. And we're going to hit escape 4 for formatting. And we're going to type D. And that's it. Number of decimal places is 4. Perfect. Okay, that fixes that. Now to specify the integer format for the periods entered. Going to go to 3-2. Escape 4. This is going to be I, right? Okay, I'm learning. Okay. And then we're going to go to 5-2. Escape 7. And then we're going to select all the columns through column 7. Okay. And we're going to press. We're going to write justify. Cool. And then they have a thing on freeform text where you can enter text by cell or block. Alright, we're going to go escape 7 here now that we're on 21.1. I'm going to go down once and to the right 4 times. And we're going to hit escape 2 for text. Oh yeah, look at that, enter edit text. Note. Alright, it occurs to me I typed this in all text, in all caps, because I had caps lock on, but I'm not retyping it. Then press escape Q to bail out. And there it is. Okay. This next section actually talks about printing this oversized thing because it's too big to fit on a piece of paper, so you have to select the pieces you want to print. I'm actually going to skip this section because we don't have the printer. And then one of the useful features, we're going to go to the next page, is we're going to talk about recalculating. Its capacity to recalculate rapidly. So we're going to hit to see the powerful recalculation ability of the spreadsheet, press escape and exclamation point. And suppose you're calculating a 1-year loan, 1,000 at 15%, so we're going to go 1,000. And the interest is 0.125. And the number of periods they want us to do is, it says press enter. So it might stick with the existing set of periods, 12. Yep, less interest, just like the exercise says. When you're finished, press Escape Q. Oh, I'm finished. Wasn't that riveting? Fortunately, you didn't have to watch me do a lot of the typing and stuff, so it's going to go kind of quick. And if it feels like I rushed through it, that's because I did. Okay, next up, we're going to have the filer. Alright, let's get started with the next application on the list. I know this kind of seems like a slog, but hey, that's what skipping around is for, and this is actually seeing what it would have been like to work with one of these. Anyway, let's get on to the next one. It's going to be Filer, and it wants us to not only go over to File, but to choose this. And basically it talks about how we're going to find, display, and print data from a Filer file. And then we'll create a new file for some vendors. So, I've opened the file, and the first record appears as it says. And Edwin was a real genius and set up a form for his clients. It has the left column labels, and of course the data. You know what a form is. And the next few pages really talk about how the fields are justified, unless you change that you can change their format. The colons indicate a left justified field, apparently. And an asterisk indicates that the filer will print or display that item, both the label and the data. So you can choose not to do that. So for example, I could leave out the account balance and the phone number, I guess, if I wanted, or something like that. So let's press Escape, and I think it's right arrow for the next record. It is Frederick Davis, and we're going to slowly get that. He's got an outstanding bill for an October 15th dinner, cheap bastard. Well, it's not the 28th of December yet, so, you know, we'll deal with that. Alright, so we're going to find and print some records. So we're going to escape at the menu, and we're going to use one for the find function. Okay, we're going to skip the first 4 fields, and it wants us to go to the city. In the city of LA. Okay, if I think I do any more than that, I'll get a copyright strike. Oops. Okay, Fort Worth. Press enter. And then it wants us to escape Q. Turn to the filer screen. And we can hit escape right to see the next match found. Gotcha. Entertain sorority sisters and business associates. Alright, so now we need to find the people with an account balance so we can hit them up or break their arms. So let's go escape 1. Oh yes, I want to do escape 5 for reset. Okay, did that. And now I want to go down to the account balance. Okay, next page. Alright, we're going to press, okay, set to equal now. We're going to set escape 2. Okay, that changes it to greater than, and we're going to type 001 and press enter. Okay. And then remarks we're just going to leave. Okay, I guess they want us to take out the address line. Find the first address line. Okay, I hit escape 7. Okay. Do the same thing. And we're going to repeat for city, state, zip, phone, and remarks. Okay. Alright, so we're back to the screen with the first person with a balance. And it says that the display function lists a group of records. So to display the list of customers, escape 3. Yes, here we go. There are 3 of them. John Helmer owes me $6.50. Oh, he's going to take a nap with the fishes. And Elliot Williams owes me $88. Next page looks just like mine because I got ahead of the book. And at the bottom of the screen you see the menu options available if I hit the escape key. And then I can print it if I like. And of course we'll just go down and do this to the screen. Very good. Okay, and here on the next page we have the printer settings. And we're going to hit escape Q to return to the filer screen. Okay, Edwin has landed a new client, and we need to add a record to the file. So we need to hit escape and 0 to add. Alright, here we go. Alright, so we're back to this filer screen. Miss Ellen McKinney's record is entered. And now we get to play with another DeskMate accessory. It's accessory time. This time we get to play with the Scratchpad. Okay, so apparently we need to send Brandon my oyster recipe for Thanksgiving. Sorry, Brandon. Next page, we just hit escape Q. Okay, there we go. Guess I had to remember to do that. Alan made me think of oysters. I wonder why. Alright, since it's later in the evening, actually, on Wednesday, we have ourselves a little wine to go along with our very enjoyable experience here with DeskMate on the Tandy 6000. So it wants us to create a new form, and to do that in DeskMate fashion, we have to quit and go back in. So this time we're going to go in and create a file called supplier. File doesn't exist, create yes. Okay, there we are. Blank form screen appears. We're going to type company and press enter. Oh, look at that. We've got a field there. Okay, and enter. Okay, I see. So that just does the field. Okay. Now we type contacts. Okay, so the next thing is we want to set the arrangement order, it looks like. So we want to arrange by due date. So to specify due date company order, move it to due date and press escape 1. Okay. Priority number is going to be 1, I imagine. Then I'm going to do the same thing for company and do priority 2. 1. And then 2. Okay. There we go. Now the form is complete. We press escape Q to quit. Oh, yep. I see the priority numbers there. Cool. And now we're going to add ourselves some records. So we're going to type in the following information. Alright, we're done entering the last record here. I'm not typing the rest of that stupid remark. Okay, escape Q. And now we're back to the first record. So on the next page, I can hit escape over, just like before, to see the next record. We've got Young's Fish Market. And we've got ABC Exterminators. And that's the last record. And once we're done, we can hit escape Q, go to the main menu. And that leaves us to the next thrilling portion of our sample session adventure, calendar. Alright, believe it or not, it's another day. And if you think this video took a long time to watch, just think about how long it took to make. So we're back. We're going to do calendar now, but I need to change my current working directory. So I'm going to hit escape 2, because I've just come back into this. I'm going to change into Edwin's directory again here. And there we are. Well, it may be another day. Actually, it's still November 20th, 1985. So, now we're going to use calendar. And apparently, Edwin uses calendar to keep track of all of his daily commitments. And in this chapter, we're going to use his calendar to find, add, and delete events. Isn't that great? So to start the calendar, we're going to go right over to calendar, and it wants us to open events.cal. So we're just going to do that. And momentarily, the calendar will appear. Now, the instructions have us enter a date, choose to hit escape, and then 2 to select the date. But we're already on November 20th, 1985. That's what I set the system date to. So all of our events are here. And apparently it's going to be a big day. It's Mom's birthday, so we have to call the florist. We're meeting John Roach for dinner, apparently. Well, that's too bad, because he's dead now. He wasn't dead then, though. So, of course, the top line has all of our events and shows us, we can see how our calendar looks for the week. We've got stuff in there, times are available, times are free. There's our nice little rendition of the calendar there, and of course our list of events. Alright, so according to the tutorial, the first thing we're going to do is we're going to change an event. So we're going to press escape and then 3 to transfer it from the current date to the events list. Okay, yep, because it's right up there. Escape 3. Alright, now we're down below. And then we're going to push escape and then right 3 times. Okay, to move over to the other column. And then we're going to push down until we get to the one that has Wilson, who I mentioned. This explains why I didn't know who the hell Wilson was, because apparently we're going to change it to Williams. And now what we're going to do is, I think we're just going to use, oh yep we are. Just use repeat here so I don't have to keep hitting it. L-I-A-M-S. Enter. Okay, and you're always in overwrite mode, it says. Okay, there we go. Alright, let's find all events, according to the sample session, that are on or after November 20th and contain Williams. So we're going to hit escape and then 1 for find. And now it wants us to hit escape and then 2 for greater than. Now it doesn't say to type the date. It just says press enter to proceed to the next field. So I'm going to do as the instructions say, and it says 2 more times to get to there. Now move it over 1 so we get the asterisk, the wildcard, L-L-I-A-M-S. Okay, when you type search data as directed, the find function lists all entries. All entries must contain. Press escape Q to return to the original calendar screen and display the entries. Okay, escape Q. Oh, and there they are. Hey, look, it worked. Everything after November 20th, 1985, including. So it's interesting, greater than is greater than or equal to, and there are all my events. Look at that, it works. We're going to go escape 0 to add an event. And the date is going to be 12/1/1985, 12/01/185, enter. And we're beginning at 1p. Oh, neat, you don't have to type all of it, it actually just lets you do it. Okay, 4:30p. And what are we doing? Oh, Bridal Shower Williams, 15 people. Man, these people are all over my grill. You can add an event any time, anywhere on the screen. Calendar sorts them, puts them in the right order. Great. And then we can go down and we got a letter from Mrs. Williams canceling 2 events for December 15th and 19th. So to delete these events, we've got to select them. We can actually define a block of them. So let's go down to the line which starts with December 15th. And we got to delete both of these. So apparently the Williams have uninvited us to their house for bridge, and we're not going to the Breakfast Club. Let's see, so we're going to hit escape and then 7 to select, which seems familiar. Okay, perfect. And then we're going to hit escape and then 9. Wow, no confirmation or anything. Those events are just gone. And there we go. Yep, nothing until the 26th. Good, we were seeing so much of them anyway. And of course, we can print the events, which actually, let's do the printy thing, but we'll do it to the screen as we've been doing. Escape P. And we're going to go down to the screen. Spacebar next screen. Oh, there is actually next screen. Catch plane to Fort Worth. You just catch it. Cool. Quit. And of course, because this wouldn't be a DeskMate application without using an accessory, we're going to use the phone directory. So let's hit escape equals to bring up the DeskMate accessories menu. And we're going to go to P phone directory. Alright, we've got Paul Johnson, Jones Hardware Supply, June's Camera Outlet, La France Bakery, our favorite linen service. These are all stuff we typed into the filer. Okay, and it wants us to add an entry, escape 0. Okay, and we're going to type worldwide produce, isn't that lovely? And it's 555. Okay. And apparently we're asking for Louise. Great. Escape Q adds the entry. Hey look, there it is. Worldwide produce. But we're not done yet with the phone directory. We just need to see when Jones Hardware Supply is open, and here we are. So we're just gonna... Oh, they're open till 8:30 on weekdays. Could put a little apostrophe before the till. Okay, fine, whatever. At least they didn't put 2 L's on it. That drives me nuts. Okay. Escape. And finally, we want to set an alarm for the events for the next day. And to do this, we've got to reset the find criteria, which I already kind of did. So let's go back to the calendar here, escape Q. And we're going to go to find and reset, which it's already reset, but I'll just do it for the sake of following instructions. And now we have to execute the find function to display a couple of events beginning with the current date. So, transfer control to the marker, the calendar events, by hitting escape 3. Highlight November 21st. Back to the bottom, escape 3 again. Select 3 events for the 21st, press escape 7. And now we're going to hit escape and then 5, I think that is. Yep, 5 alarm, as in 5 alarm fire, merging events into the alarm file. The alarm function sounds a beep to remind you of a scheduled event. Note, you have access to the alarm events file from any DeskMate application except DM events. Okay. Press escape Q. Now, here's the funny trick. No beeper. The Model 16 does not have a buzzer, but if I was using this on the 16B, the buzzer would sound. Back to the main menu. Okay, our last main application is Mail, and so we're just going to go over and we're going to highlight Mailbox and mailbox.message and start the application. Alright, I want to review the 4 most recent letters. I can read them separately, or select a block of letters and read them as a group. Interesting. So we're going to move to end of the list. We're going to hit escape 7. We're going to use the up arrow. 1, 2, 3. Okay. To highlight the last 4 messages. Of course, there are only 4. And then to begin reading, we just push enter. Okay. Oh, interesting. That's neat. Okay, the Johnsons decided to have us over. We've got some tax planning to do. We have a firm date so that the IRS can get their dough. Spacebar next screen. Johnson wedding. Yep, remember that. Still on. Blah, blah. And that's it. Quit. And because they don't all fit on the same screen, as we just saw, we just kind of scrolled through it. And I can use alarms and events within Mail. So I'm going to hit escape equals. Wow, Mail's tough. And we're going to go E. I want to add an event for November 25th. So we're going to do escape 2. Bring up the calendar, and I'm going to move it down to the 25th. And press enter. Blank entry appears. We're going to do from 3P to 5P, and we're going to tax orifice. You know where's orifice? That's a different kind of tax meeting. And we hit enter. And having recorded this appointment, Edwin can delete the message from, so Q. And we're going to go escape 9 to delete the message. Great, it's deleted. Alright, now let's create a message. See me looking on the screen over here. I got my DeskMate manual still over here to the left. Doing this by the seat of my pants, people. Isn't it riveting? Okay, we're going to use the reply function. So we're going to highlight the message by Jody. We're going to hit escape, and then we're going to go to for reply. We have to Jody, subject reassignment. We're going to press enter at each prompt in the heading. Don't care about a return receipt. And now we get to type. You don't have to watch me type all this. Alright, our mail is created. I have never said I'm glad to marry something off to someone. But okay. Whatever, I didn't write it. To send the message, we hit escape and then 1. And apparently our mail is sent. Now, apparently, because I actually sent that, I should get an error someplace. We'll see what happens. But that's okay. I don't care. It just has you escape 9 to quit, but I don't care. Mail not sent, press any key to continue. Yeah, because Jody's not a user on the system. It actually uses the back-end mail facility. That makes me wonder, though. I thought, and maybe this was just Xenix 1, that mail wasn't included unless you got the development system. So, if you had Xenix 3 and there's no mail, does DeskMate install the mail facility for you? Just a thought. I don't know. If you know, let me know in the comments. Next page. Boom! Alright, you want to send a second letter to Elizabeth. Create. Okay, so to send it to an actual user that's not me, I'm going to send it to root. Subject, new assignment. Elizabeth is not only a great wedding coordinator, but she's also the super user on this machine. Anticipating a need for more space in the message area, use the edit function to provide a full page. Escape 2. Executing editor. Wow, must have done something really bad. Okay. And it wants me to type this whole letter. Alright, I think that's an appropriate, work-appropriate email. Everything's great except the very last part. Apparently he's her lover too. He is a smooth operator after all. Okay, we're going to hit Escape Q to return to the Create Mail screen. Message does not fit the display area. Use the edit function to edit it. Hit Escape Q again to send your letter and quit. Okay, from the list of messages, I want to select those that concern the Johnson wedding and send them to the mailbox named Johnson. Use the select function to define the block. Okay, so we're going to go Escape 7, down. Now we're going to use Escape 6 to merge. And we're going to merge to Johnson. Nothing like merging your Johnson. And we're going to Escape Q to quit mail, updating the mailbox. Alright, we have our merged Johnson. So now we're going to cover our Johnson with a cursor, and we're not going to open it though, we're going to select the permissions function. So Escape and 6, permission. Oh, Unix permissions, alright. And we're going to, in response to the first prompt, the screen's going to show the file name we want. And we're going to change the settings. You position the cursor over the marker and press Y or N. However, the existing settings permit Elizabeth to read the file. You can exit without making any changes. Okay, great. So I just move these around and Y or N. So, okay. 644. Great. Yep. Enter. Be great if it had like advanced mode. You just like 644, 600, whatever. So that's going to be it for the sample session by the looks of things. We haven't really played with the utilities much. The sample session doesn't go into those, but I mean, it's really just backup, restore, free, who activity, like who's logged on? Well, me. I wonder if that'll replace applications all the time. I kind of like it. Yeah, see, me, console, 1245, escape Q to quit. So that's pretty much it. Actually, now that the utility stays up there, I kind of like that. So now we can move the cursor back to the text application, the first file into the text application, which is address.doc. And we're going to use Escape 7 to highlight it. And we're going to delete these files according to the doc. So I'm going to say 9, Escape 9. And we want to proceed this way to delete all the files in the menu. So instead of rm-rf Edwin, it's going to actually make me do this. I'm not doing this for all of these. I'm going to say yes to this. A, delete all. Yeah, I see, because it's not going to do that. It's going to want me to delete the directory in DeskMate. Okay, screw that. Yeah, you're not going to watch me do this. Highlight the main file, Escape Q. We are going to, where am I? Good, alright, we're just going to do it this way. Ah, that's better. Screw that noise. And that's it. That is the DeskMate sample session. A bit long, but this kind of goes into the category of actually using these machines for applications and not just doing my take-apart stuff that I usually do. So that's going to do it for DeskMate. I know this was a longer one. For those of you that stuck with me, thank you. For those of you that didn't, I don't blame you. But thanks again for watching my Tandy series, and there will be one more video where we're going to kind of touch on an application, but it's going to be a bit of a treat. We're going to do something a little different. There's going to be a little take-apart, and there's going to be a little application work. So join me next time for my last episode of Bigly Tandy, and the end of my Tandy celebration for 2022. See you next time.